you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Beminette. I can't believe that I knew you when you were a baby, and then now you're a very strong man who arranged all this for the sake of the cause or the victims of war of people of Tigray. Thank you today for all of you for coming, and thank you for Holy Names High School for giving me the opportunity to come here and share my views and most likely things that you have never known in the last 4 or 5 years. So I really appreciate for the opportunity that the principal, Mr. Cohen, and Beminette have arranged today. And then right after my classes, I rushed into Holy Names. Then I thank God for being here today with you different from my normal usual duties. All right. So just want to say welcome to the presentation, which we call Tigray Conflict presentation. And I want to start from, my name is Mulugera Tedla. Last name is Tedla. My kids, both of my kids went to Holy Names. Now they're graduates of universities. And in fact, my son is here. He's doing his nursing practitioner at the University of Windsor right now. And my daughter, Martha, is working at the actually one of the companies in the US. So I'm so attached with Holy Names somehow. My kids, and when we had meetings all the time, I remember. So I thank Holy Names for that purpose, for really shaping up my kids up to the point where they have become very successful. So it is an amazing school. And I thank everyone, staff and all the students for this opportunity. So like I said, my name is Mulugera Tedla. I am originally from the place called Tigray. Tigray is a region in Ethiopia. I will explain down the road when I get to the maps of the African maps or Ethiopian map. So it is a region just like Ontario in Canada. Tigray is a region in Ethiopia. So talking in Ethiopia. Ethiopia is part of Africa. Africa is one of the continents of the world. So I am originally from Tigray. So it is a northern part of Ethiopia. And then when it was time to go to college, I went to university. There was then, when I was going to university, there was only one university in like one country, which is like maybe 60 million people at that time. So I managed to make it there, and I finished with my first degree in mathematics, and I was happily teaching at a Catholic high school, which is called Meki Catholic Technical School, really. So after I finished the 2 years of teaching for math, so I was exposed to very severe human rights violations. So I had to save my life. I had to run away. I'm talking about in 1990. So I left about 35 years ago from Ethiopia to Kenya, to the neighboring Kenya. So when I left there, I became a refugee in Kenya. So I became a refugee in Kenya in June 1990, and then I stayed for 2.5 years in Kenya in a refugee camp. I had only a tent. We had to share the tent with 6 refugees, and then life was very tough, really, I tell you. And the food, the clothing, everything was really, really rough. But not until one day, the Canadian consulate guys came to our camp, to our refugee camp. they were looking for anybody, any refugee with a background, with some educational background. And then they gave us forms. I was so excited because I just, like a couple of years ago, I was then done my first degree in mathematics. And then I applied, they picked me. And then after a rigorous process of resettlement in Canada and scholarship arrangement with the University of Windsor, my application was picked by University of Windsor, WUSC local committee and the Department of Mathematics to do my master's. They gave me an opportunity to be a London immigrant in Canada, plus a scholarship of 2 years of education to do my master's at the University of Windsor. So the University of Windsor was my sponsor when I came to Canada. As a student and as a London, my case for refugee was accepted. Otherwise, the Canadian embassy wouldn't let me come in as a student. So I was a refugee student, settled in University of Windsor, and managed to finish 3 years of education, 1 year of what they call qualifying year, because they don't know whether my degree is legit or not, because really, they were very doubtful. So they put me into 10 courses of what they call qualifying. If you're good, show us with those 10 courses if you can meet the standards of the university. So they put me 5 math courses the first semester, 5 math courses the second semester. At the end of the 2 semesters, they assessed me, and then they found me eligible to be enrolled into the master's program. Then after 2 years of master's program, I finished, and right after, I was lucky to be hired at Tigray College. Since 1997, up to now, I have been teaching math for college students at Tigray College. Currently, I am still a full-time faculty. I am a professor of math, actually one of the senior math professors. I've been teaching there for 28 years. And I'm slowing down right now. Maybe thinking to consider to maybe stop and then a little bit enjoy retirement time, maybe. That's where I'm at right now. But it was a very interesting journey that I have. So I thank Canada, the Canadians, for giving me this opportunity to come to Canada, by saving me from this horrible refugee camp life. Not only me, but also my kids and my wife. So they rescued us. Canadians rescued me. That's what I believe, and I want to share this with you, that Canada is the greatest country and great people live in it, okay? So just keep up the greatness that Canada has already established in the world. And just that's a brief introduction of myself. And today we are here because about 4 years ago, 2020, in November 2020, a huge war against about 8 million people was declared, and a lot of consequences happened right after the war. Currently, we have what we call silencing the guns, like a truce between the warring stakeholders, and we are under a truce. So 2022, there was a peace agreement that has been dealt with, but still we are very, very not confident. It's a very fragile, and it's all very sensitive political issues are not taken care of yet. So the outstanding issues that brought those parties to fight are still unresolved. So we still are under stress for the sake of our people. So even though I was here, I was following this the last 4 years. A person like me and people, Tigrayans of, Canadians with Tigrayan origin, after this unjust war, we were very, very worried. We tried our best to help or to pass the message that this war should stop. So that is why today I'm here Bemnet, I know his mom is part of my community. I know her. She did all her best also to help our countrymen and women back home. So just the bottom line, I am not here to place blame on any group, but I'm here to convey a message, how conflicts affect people's lives and explore ways to help. This might take about 30, 45 minutes altogether. So today we're going to do a geography, brief history of the people, cause and consequences of the war, current situation, how we can help, and I will open up a discussion of questions if I will answer the best of my knowledge. And the first we take where are our people? Where is Tigray located? Okay, so this is a map of Ethiopia. Actually, overall, if you're looking on the world map, you should see beside the Red Sea, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Somalia, Kenya, they're all beside the Red Sea. And on the other side, there is Yemen, and there is all the Middle East countries. So you see that Red Sea on the blue, and Tigray is on the top. And then there are about 10 regions in Ethiopia. And that is the geographical location. It's actually ancient in history. There is a lot of religious blueprints of both Christianity and Islam in the province I came from, in Tigray. And I'll come to that later on in the history. So, but geographically, that is the regional division of Ethiopia as a region, Tigray. And the Tigray region have people who speak Tigrinya as a language. Okay, it's very distinct. Most of Ethiopian states or Ethiopian, what do we call them, regions, they all have their own language. So Ethiopia is like a mixture of many nations together. So there are so many, like approximately 83 languages, active languages spoken in that country, you know. So, but then what the government or the constitution did was to make up a generalized states of 10 as much as they could do, and then come up with the federation of all these states, you know. So next screen. Yeah, this is the map of Tigray. It's divided into zones. I deliberately wanted to show that because even after the peace deal, the part that's shaded gray is still under control by not Tigrayans, or it's overtaken by. It's not within Tigray. So therefore, the people in the Tigrayans who are in Western Tigray and displaced Tigrayans who are all over the rest of Tigray are still, you know, displaced. So they are maybe a million or above a million, or maybe 800,000 people from Tigray are displaced all over the province, and some are in the Sudan. That they have become refugees right now, and then waiting to come back to their homes. So briefly, I want to mention a little bit of the history of Tigray. Like I told you, it is actually Tigray is present day. Tigray is the center of what we call Aksumite Kingdom. Aksumite Kingdom once has been one of the four strongest kingdoms in like the 1st century or 2nd century. So Aksumite Kingdom, Aksum is one city in Tigray. It's the capital city during this old days. So Aksumite Kingdom in the 1st century was one of the powerful and had tremendous influence around present-day Red Sea countries. Damat Kingdom, which was 3,000 years back, had well-established government and unique way of administering the people in Tigray. And Tigray was very rich in ancient books, Bibles, and Bible and the Quran, but most of them were looted, destroyed during this war, the recent war. Christianity was introduced on the 3rd century, and it's been very strongly expanded in Ethiopia. The place where it started was in Aksum during that time. And Al-Najashi Mosque, most Muslims know about this Al-Najashi Mosque, is an iconic place where different people of different religion can live together with peace and harmony. It is an exemplary place. Al-Najashi is well known because the king at that time of Tigray, which was a Christian, has allowed the refugees from Saudi Arabia to get settled in Tigray and then given a chance of refugee. So therefore, Islam was in Tigray since the 7th century, and then never had been a problem, religious problems among those two people. So I think Al-Najashi is an iconic. I mean, historically, you could Google or you could study the history in Islam. You can find that first mosque in Africa is called Al-Najashi. My parents' house is 7 minutes away from Al-Najashi, actually. So it is. Every place is very ancient, very a lot of history attached with it. There are churches actually that we have. They are 17 years old churches. They are carved from a big stone, just a mountain, but still working. People still go and pray there and then function as any other church which has been built recently. So these are like prints of a lot of history in Tigray. And so it's from languages Sabian and the Giz that modern Tigrinya, the language of the Tigray people, has evolved. And in this group of people, which we call Tigrayans, they were able to establish their own alphabet set, their own number system, their own currency at that time. So we have, as Tigrayans, and became already known in Ethiopia. The Ethiopian, an Amharic language, also uses a different script. This is completely different from the English or the Latin scripts. So that is a society that developed its own alphabets even on the first century, the first century time, and they have their own coins of money transactions, and they had, like I said, they were extremely important historical books that have been destroyed during the war. So now I want to take you to the conflict. What are we talking about today? The conflict, Ethiopia has had varying political systems, monarchy, communist era, and a federal system. Tigray played a significant role in Ethiopia's history, including the fight against previous regimes, and modern tensions rose from political disagreements between Tigray regional leadership and the Ethiopian federal government. There is a federal government that governs those 10 states I told you, and then the constitution have their own rights and responsibilities, but then there was a conflict between the political elites, the leaders from Tigray and the leaders from the Ethiopian government. And that tension of advocating for the ethnically based federalism versus, on the other side, a unitary one system a unitary system, we call it. These tensions brought this war into life, and tensions escalated, eventually leading to armed conflict. So there was 2-3 years before the armed conflict of political dialogue and political arguments, but never been reconciled. On November 2020, conflict erupted after long-standing disagreements between political leaders of Tigray and the federal government. Multiple armed forces joined, including foreign and national forces, regional paramilitaries, and militias to invade the region of Tigray. So there was a united front against the Tigray region. And the violence escalated quickly, causing severe disruption of basic services in Tigray, and basic human rights of the people were violated. Ethnic cleansing has happened in Tigray. The people of Tigray fought for justice and the right to exist on their God-given land. And the human impact, consequences for everyday life, I can mention a few. Many essential facilities, hospitals, clinics, schools were damaged and destroyed. Widespread power outages and internet shutdowns further isolated the region. Lack of banking system, all accounts which are created in Tigray were shut down. So even though you are a millionaire, during this war, you were subject to starve. You wouldn't feed your kids because you have millions in the bank, you can't use it. This is actually happened in Tigray. A millionaire had to take drastic measures to save his kids because he cannot use his money from the bank. It's very unfortunate that all your savings of your life, you cannot use them during the time that you need to use them, you know. Conflict is something, but then just blocking some civilian accounts doesn't make sense at all. Families were affected tremendously. You can imagine yourself that kids that have no access to hospitals, they have no medicine, they have no internet. Can you stay here without internet for a day? I don't know about you, but my kids won't. I don't think. So it's been for 2 years there was no internet in Tigray, and Tigray was like, even though it's like from the economically not well-developed country, but actually people were doing well. The economic progress was getting better every year. The GDP was growing very good. Just prior to the war, Tigray was a destination of many tourists from the world. It was enjoying the peace that it had at that time. But unfortunately, because of this war, everything collapsed. So we're going to see the humanitarian crisis because of the displacement and scarcity. Over 2 million, some estimates say that 3 million people fled their towns and villages, seeking safety in camps of neighboring areas. For a long period, food shipments and medical supplies were not reaching Tigray, consistently due to blockades, bureaucracies, and ongoing fighting. Displaced families often live in overcrowded shelters, lacking basic sanitation and privacy. Most of the displaced people from the West, they moved towards the east and central areas, and the kids, students like you, had no place to sleep. They had sometimes to spend on the streets until they get shelter. So it was not done much after the peace deal to really shelter those displaced people. So my main concern or my main worry is about these displaced people, and it's very unfortunate. Yeah, so some of them are separated from their parents because of this conflict. So parents and kids are separated. So I want to talk about impact on children and education. on the next screen. Yeah, no, on the just prior to the one. Children and teenagers have missed up to 3 years of formal schooling in some areas. Many have been or experienced traumatic events, leaving lasting mental and emotional scars. Losing education does not just affect the present, it has long-term consequences for their future opportunities. So, I mean, how could you academically or how could your future be if you're interrupted 3 years out of school and then your behavior actually is a question right after? We've seen so many young people, even though given the opportunity to go back to school, some of them are not reluctant to go back because they've already lost hope because of the interruption of 3 years, and it was really miserable the 3 years that they have been on. So I think many also consider leaving the country desperately, like migrate somewhere else. That's why you see most European countries flooded by refugees from Africa. So I think as people of the world, we should really do something to stop these conflicts in Africa so the flooding would stop. That is the only solution. Refugee crisis is not a solution for a problem. The solution is to go do something on the ground, right on the conflicting area. So there was also tremendously negative impact on women and girls, unfortunately, on this war. I want to speak a little bit of the women and girls that has been affected here. The gender-based violence caused serious harm targeting women and girls. These events led to victims to physical and psychological trauma, often the limited or no medical care available. Human rights organizations have voiced concerns and are urging more robust support for survivors, but both immediate aid and long-term care for victims. But still, it's very slow and it's not happening. So for the next slide, I'm going to talk about the current situation of and the peace deal that the Pretoria Agreement that we call it. In 2022, which is like exactly 2 years after the war began, a peace agreement was signed in Pretoria in South Africa, aiming to stop active conflict and allow aid to flow. Some positive changes: limited humanitarian assistance is reaching parts of Tigray. Negotiations for restoring basic services continue. However, conditions vary. Some areas still report conflict or restricted access, and many displaced have yet not returned home. Hundreds of thousands of people from Western Tigray have not returned to their homes, even after 4 years of being displaced, because their land is still occupied. More than 60,000 Tigrayan refugees still are in Sudan. They're waiting to go back to their homes. Ethnic cleansing continues in Tigray despite the truce agreement. Still, the ethnic cleansing is still there. So I think these are the outstanding issues for us right now. I mean, things have gone better. I tell you the truth. Even myself, last summer, my son and myself, I went back home. And because my home or my parents' home is located to the place of Tigray where it's not occupied, I had a chance to go back, even though with fear and scare behavior. We managed to go there. We have an elderly mother. I have an elderly mother I had to visit, and we managed to go back and come back out. So I think there is hope. There is the rest of the non-Western Tigray region is trying to, regain its economic balance and business as usual. But I am focused on the displaced people and people who were victims already in Tigray, but never been helped, never been treated, never got any medical attention. Girls and women who were victims of this sexual abuse are not getting enough help to recover from all this trauma. And we're going to see the next screen for the road to recovery. So recovery involves rebuilding physical structures like roads, electricity network, hospitals and schools. Organizations and professionals are needed to provide a mental health service, trauma counseling supports, groups. The road to recovery can take years of normalcy to fully return, especially in trust between the communities has eroded. We hope that the negotiations will continue, and then the people of Western Tigray will be liberated, and of course, Tigray will gain its rights like the other regions in Ethiopia, because Tigray now is neither a region nor not a country. It's not separated. It's not even part of Ethiopia. So it's suffering economic crisis. So the people are suffering a lot. The people I'm talking about from 6 million to 10 million people. So it's significant in number, but even though the land looks very small. So the next slide, there are families that lost contact with relatives and are slowly reuniting. Most teenagers in Tigray are determined to continue their education, sometimes studying under candlelight tents or with limited resources. Community groups are actively trying to reopen schools, create tent classrooms, and distribute donated books, pens, and pencils. Myself and my sisters, actually, when I went back home in the summer, we took a lot of help for the school I went, high school. So I helped a few students with notebooks, pencils, and a computer, a printer, a scanner, just for that school. And some Tigrayan diaspora in Canada, we were able to pull some money from Canadian communities, and we were able to help the destroyed hospital of Wugro, where I came from. Wugro is a town that I came from. So there was a hospital was destroyed during the war. Then we were able to manage buy blankets and some emergency equipment, because we raised a few $1,000s in Canada. I have friends in Ottawa, in Toronto. We were able to collect some money, and then we did that. So I think that's what the best we can do. Some youths are challenged, like I said before. There are no jobs. They are not willing to go to school sometimes, some of them. So they are very discouraged. And they consider like leaving the country as a means, the only means. And that is devastating, not only for them, but just for the whole world. Think about every country with problems. If every people or all the people are leaving the country as a solution, that is a solution that I will never take. So I invite you to watch a couple short videos, YouTube videos. If you could click my... There's technical problems.
We have to stop the stream. We only have one internet connection.
Oh.
So, yeah, we can show you. We'll go back to the end. Like after we stop the stream, we'll go back.
Yeah, to the videos, you mean?
To the videos,
Yeah, okay. Thank you. All right. So, so for a second, we're gonna skip the videos. They're very short, but they tell you what the little kids' problems or what they draw and what they hope one day it will come. So I think it shows visually the situation more than what I say here. So I just how can we help is the last point I want to discuss about. How can we help really? So I encourage you to continue learning, follow repeatable news and humanitarian reports for updates, support or donate to the victims of war, Students can organize or participate in awareness campaigns, events, fundraisers, or even small donation drives at school. No action is too small. Collectively, it will help to rebuild lives. Okay? So I think just if we cannot watch the videos, I'm basically summarizing my content. So I'm gonna allow you, unless they do something to show us the videos, then we're gonna discuss a little bit. If you have any questions, I can answer them as best of my ability. If you have any questions, are the videos able to run or no? No?
Just ask.
Discussion, okay. So we are here for, are we on the discussion and reflection? Yes.
Yeah.
So we are here for discussion, and if you have any questions, I'll be willing to answer them as much as I can. You can raise your hand and I will allow you to speak. Yes?
I have a question. I don't want to speak in the mic.
Okay.
About, you said there was a Tigray dollar.
Sorry?
You said there was a currency for Tigray
During that old time,
the whole time?
Yes.
There's no more currency?
no. Yeah.
I was just going to ask if it was worth more or less.
Yeah, okay. Well, we still have currency in the country. Okay, so, yeah, sorry. Gentlemen, what's your name, sir, if you don't mind?
My name's Ryan.
Ryan did not want on a speaker. So the question is, if there is currency, how much is it worth